on, good people? This is your boy Alberto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Folks, I'm bringing you another potential target, free agent target for the Atlanta Falcons. And, folks, with so much uncertainty going into this offseason, in this position group, the running back group, with Cordero Patterson getting up in age, um, Caleb Huntley, suffering his Achilles tear. We don't know what the Falcons are going to do as far as if they're going to address this in free agency or they're going to go ahead and address it in the draft. But if they do elect to address the position in free agency, I bring you David Montgomery. David Montgomery, a now Chicago Bears player, and I know that the reoccurring theme with Chicago Bear players coming over from there to the Atlanta Falcons solely has to do with Ryan Pace being at the top of the front office, so that pipeline of players to acquire is there. But David Montgomery, a guy that Ryan Pace knows all too well, having drafted him in the third round in 2019 out of Iowa. Knows what kind of work ethic and what led him to get drafted at that time in the third round. So Ryan Pace is very familiar with him. In other words, David Montgomery is still a young kid, 25 years of age. Will be 26 at the start of the 2023 season, but he has been very, very productive. I know that injuries has cost him a couple games in the past. And right now Chicago has a good trio of back with Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, and the gentleman Ebner, which I don't know his first name, but he had all three of them, mesh well together. But I see the Bears moving away from David Montgomery and having Khalil Herbert and Ebner as their lead back, their two lead backs. So that leaves Montgomery services to be had. So I potentially think that Montgomery can fit into this Arthur Smith zone blocking scheme very well. Um, David Montgomery is a very hard nosed runner. He has similar traits to how Tyler Algier runs the ball now. But one thing that separates the two and is their ability to receive out of the backfield. In the past 3 seasons, David Montgomery has finished with well over 300 yards receiving in four to go along with 4 touchdowns. So that's an aspect of his game that hasn't been tapped into so much yet. And Arthur Smith having his own style of all-purpose type back without Tyler Algier, I hope that that's an element that they bring to the offense next year. So having two running backs that can definitely kill you in the run game and kill you in the passing game will be a major get for the Falcons and taking this offense into higher levels in 2023. Not to mention Montgomery, like I mentioned, the past 3 seasons he's finished with well over 300 yards receiving to go along with. I think it's 8 yards per catch. So the kid shows some receiving ability. To date, he has rushed for 780 yards, 5 touchdowns. He averages 4.4 yards per carry. Man, that's pretty good. Career wise, he has over 3,500 yards rushing and 26 touchdowns. So he definitely has a nose for the end zone. Like I mentioned, just a very physical back, still young. I think that Atlanta should definitely consider pursuing Montgomery in the offseason. I know there's a ton of names out there, like the likes of Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, Raheem Mostert is going to be out there. Josh Jacobs, a very popular guy linked to the Falcons as well. But those guys, I think, may command a bigger contract than what Montgomery could be had for. Currently, Sports Track values Montgomery's contract to be around $7 million per year. That puts him right around a James Conner type contract he received some years ago, 3 years, $21 million. I think Atlanta can get creative and possibly get that number a little bit lowered due to the ties with Ryan Pace and company. So who knows? But definitely a young physical guy that fits this team very well. We have Cordero Patterson as well, but there's uncertainty with Cordero. Atlanta might choose to go a different route with Cordero. Either that's trade, cut, I don't know, something. He'll be 32 years of age when the season starts. I don't know if going to a veteran like him, approaching him and say, you want taking a step back and playing this role for us. This is where we see you now. It might not sit well with him. He might, we don't know. Uh, he might ask for a trade, might ask to get cut. Who knows? But Cordero Patterson being a third down back would be an incredible thing for this offense if he chooses to take that, third down back role or just be exclusively at punt and kickoff returns, or just I'm sorry, kickoff returns. So I'd be much more happier having a trio of Tyler Algier, David Montgomery, Cordero Patterson. That would be amazing. Lost in that shuffle is, of course, Caleb Huntley, which Caleb Huntley suffered an Achilles tear against Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. And so that timeline of when that happened to when he will be ready, he might not be ready until midway through the next season. So, having three competent backs, along with everything that Atlanta might bring in free agency and in the draft, it's just it's cool to think about the potential of this offense. So, folks, I gave you details on David Montgomery. If you like this move, please share your comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, man. I truly appreciate everybody. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. David Montgomery to the Atlanta Falcons in 2023. Is that a yes or is that a no? Again, this is your boy Alberto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Peace.